Let me go to Zach. First time call out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Zach, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you so much, Jesse, for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
So I am a recovering beta male, and I'm trying to figure out what I need to do to save my kids. And I am grateful for your content, and it's helped me a lot to figure out and put things in perspective and understand what's really going on. But my situation is kind of unique, mostly because my kids don't have birth certificates. So I'm not sure how I should proceed legally because, okay, let me just tell you the whole story. I'm sorry. I'm long-winded. Like I said, I'm a recovering beta male, so I have a tendency to go on and on. So
how old are you, Eric? Zach.
I am 31.
And you've been married before?
No, should have married her. Well, no, I shouldn't have been having out of wedlock sex.
Yeah. How many kids do you have with her?
I have 2 sons.
Oh, man. And so how old are they?
6 and 5, and I caught them both. Like, we did natural births. I was the first person to touch both of my sons, and I had some extreme experiences with it. Like, the first time there was probably 12 people in the room singing and playing music, and when he was born, neither one of my sons cried. But when he was born, it was like I could hear everybody's thoughts in the room, and it was I was like communicating with my son for, I don't know how long it was, but I feel like I was just staring into his eyes, like talking to him for like 15 minutes. I don't know how long it was. It could have been 2
So
seconds,
did you live with this woman?
Yeah. And, like I said, I'm a recovering beta. I don't know my dad,
Are you living with her now?
Thanks to Facebook. No, she ran away.
How long did you guys live together?
On and off, maybe 7 or 8 years. I was living with my grandparents, and she had a home that her parents were providing her because she's from New York, but she was going to school in Greensboro at the most liberal,
Is she older than you? Is she older than you?
Yeah, by about 6 months.
Amazing. And so
yeah, exactly.
You said she ran away. Did she leave the kids and ran away by herself?
She ran away and took our kids and left them with her parents in New York, and then she moved to Miami.
Wow. Why do they always go to Florida? Somebody else called, their wife went to Florida. When I come back, hold on. I want you to hold on for me because I want to know why don't you have birth certificates for them, all right? According to that, the woman took off with his children, left them with her people, and she went to Florida. What a mess. Am I right about that, Zach?
What a mess is right. Yep, you got it all.
And so why didn't you get a birth certificate for the kids?
Simple answer, I was a beta smoking pot. Complicated answer, I just done some research that made me think that it was better, and I'm still somewhat undecided about it, but if you're not going to have birth certificates for your kids, you definitely have to be together and on the same page. And I wasn't thinking through the whole situation, and I was godless liberal, thinking all these ridiculously stupid things.
Yeah.
And it allowed me, letting the woman lead and do these dumb things. Obviously, that was all her idea. But not understanding and being able to stand up for what's right, and thinking, oh, the U.S. is an evil place and this dumb stuff, instead of thinking like, I want my kids to be able to be president. Like, what in the? It's crazy to me at this point.
So she didn't want you to get birth certificates for the kids.
Right. So once she got pregnant, and I had been looking to move to Arizona for a couple of months, and once she got pregnant, it was like, okay, I guess you're coming with me, and I don't know, because I'm not a leader or something like that. I let her kind of make the itinerary for us to get over to Arizona and figure out where we're going to stay and stuff. So we ended up living with some hippies and in different communities, growing our own food and stuff. Yeah, what a mess is right. And that's why we had that why I had that amazing birth experience I described, but got all the way down the rabbit holes of the lies.
How old are you, Zach?
31.
31. And so what made her take off? Why did she leave?
I mean, because we didn't get along, but because she's one of these, she has a degree in African American studies and
is she black?
from this horrible university.
Are you white?
I am mixed, and my dad is mixed. So I'm have no clue who I am.
So you're white and black?
White, black, and Native American.
What a mess!
Yep.
Man, my heart goes out to you, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, Jesse, you've already helped me so much. The way I'm able to frame these questions and understand the problems that I'm really facing now is a lot of it has to do with you. Jordan Peterson played a role too, helping me see the common sense arguments for Christianity and for Christ and for America, et cetera. But basically, the way that it went down was this, Jesse. So I started working online because I wanted to be a stay-at-home dad, partially because she would always say things like, I'm not domesticated. Like the woman cannot sweep anything. Like, it's ridiculous. And she's braggadocious about it, right?
Amazing.
I've wanted to have kids since I was 12 or something like that.
Yes.
And I wanted to be there to be there with them, and homeschool them. And so I started working online. And once my business started kicking off, I realized I don't have time to be doing all of these different things at once. So I doubled down on my business. She, had to deal with the kids, and her psyche crumbles over it. My house, I leave the house at 8. I don't get back till 9. When I come in the house, I just immediately start cleaning up because it's like every day. It's like a tornado went through the house, and you're just watching Netflix when I get home. The kids might not even be asleep or whatever, right? And so at a certain point, we were getting into these arguments, and I said, hey, why don't you go take a vacation? And the place she ended up taking a vacation to was Miami, where she had a friend who was pregnant, and she does birth work. From our natural birth, she wanted to be a midwife and a doula and stuff like that. So she goes down there to help her friend. I stay with the kids and am doing my business. It was freaking amazing. I would do that every day if I could. But it basically came down to this one point where she told me that she missed me. And I'm against that phrase, right?
She said she missed you?
And I being too egotistical or whatever, I just didn't want to say it back. And from that point, I feel like she started to plot this out. So what happened was, I gave her my car to go to Miami. And so with my boys, and, after 3 months, it was supposed to be 3 weeks or something, it ended up being 3 months. And so I fly down there with my boys in order to drive us all back. But when I'm there, she tricks me and says that her brother got shot, who was a police officer in New York, and she takes the kids with her to New York and says hey, I'll be back in a week. And then, hey, I'll be back in a month. Hey, I'll be back in a couple months. Hey, I'll be back eventually. There's no way it will be a year before you see your kids again. And now it's been 3.
It's been 3 years since you see your kids?
Yeah. And everybody, I mean, it was kind of egotistical, but everybody that ever saw me with my kids said, holy crap, you're the best dad I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Several of my friends said things like, I never wanted to have kids until I saw you with your son.
And so what's your question for me, Zach?
My question is really, what should I do? Because I have programs in my brain where I cannot blame. I always take responsibility for things. So the way that I wanted to solve this was to basically make $100 million and shove half of it down her throat in order to get my kids back and say, hey, you go do all these dumb things you want to do. She's really entitled, thinks she should be able to travel and do all this stuff, doesn't want to work or anything like that. And, then get my kids back. But it's taking me too long to build up the amount of wealth I need to really have the leverage in the situation. And meanwhile, there's Super Bowls that is basically just like strippers and homosexuals. Like, I mean, it's terrifying me, and I need to get my kids back around me. And I'm not like, I feel like her dad is a beta male. I feel like we would agree a lot, but her mom runs the house.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been able to see my kids. And when my mom and my little brother and my stepdad have been able to see my kids like multiple times.
But they won't let you see them.
Right. And when my mom asks her mom, it's like, but when she asks her dad, he's like, well, they're the boss. Carmen and Elaine are the boss. And so, you know, I feel like for him, he would agree with me and be ready to, you know, help me see my kids. But you know, in terms of strategy,
why is it that you can't see them, but your parents can?
I mean, no reason that makes sense. No explanation have I gotten. And, you know, like when I talk to her, she's all, you know, she'll say things like, I know what I'm doing is egregious and blah, 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 blah. And it seems like we have a breakthrough, but she is a perpetual victim. Like, she thinks everybody is racist. Like, even though so many white people helped us out when we were like traveling across the country, being degenerate. And it's like it blows my mind, right? Like, I had my cousin agreed to help her babysit.
Let me tell you this, Zach.
Like, it's saying racist stuff in front of her.
Zach.
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, your parents should not be going to see them. They should stay out of it. And it's between you and this woman.
I told them that.
And they have no business. Your mother, and do your father go too, or just your mother, your brother?
My mother, my stepbrother, and my little brother and sister, and my stepdad.
You should tell your mother to stay out of it. Your brother and your stepfather.
Did after listening to you.
Yeah, they have no business involved in this at all. And what I recommend is you continue to build your life. Are you doing my silent prayer?
I haven't yet, but I know a lot of the things that you say are right from the beginning, you know, forgiveness and stuff like that. And I do similar practices, but yeah, I know I need to do the silent prayer. And
do the silent prayers. Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
Yeah, but this is another question I have for you, Jesse. I have a bad habit of going through the forgiveness process and then stirring up that anger within myself again and having to then forgive again. So I know you said, you know, when you go to your mom, don't, you know, think out what you're going to say and stuff. But like, I'll be working and things pop in my head that I get annoyed about with my mom. And so I have a little list of things that I've written down. And I've gotten through like 2 out of 10 of them or something like that. And there's a lot of them, you know.
That's why you need to do the silent prayers act, because you're listening to your thoughts and they're reminding you of the traumas of your mother and they're causing you to get angry, right? So you need to become aware of those thoughts so you should just let them pass. And if you have gone and forgiven her, you need to move on with your life. And when you do see her, be honest with, you know, be an adult. Don't be a child. You're not a child anymore. Be an adult with her and tell her to stay away from those kids, because she doesn't have a right to go see them and you can't. And she will turn on you. And what will happen is she will go and see those kids and she'll start believing the stories about you from the mother and the grandmother, and your own mother would turn on you and work with them. I would highly encourage you to tell her to stay away from them.
Yeah, and I did, and I think last week actually made that breakthrough, and I think that she's going to stop. And, you know, I told her, because it's similar to, like, her and the mother of my children, it's similar how it happened, because my mom basically took me and hid me from my dad, wouldn't put me in, directories and stuff like that in school. And so I explained to her, like, no, you're like, you can't judge Carmen because that would be judging yourself. So you're doing this whole little roundabout thing, and you say something to me like, no, I just want them to know that we love them. Like, no, you want to be around them because you covet their presence, which is the same thing that I have. So I have this thing where I know that I just want to be around my kids, but that might not be what I'm supposed to be doing or what's actually the best thing or what's right. And trying to figure out.
So here's what I recommend. Your mother stay away from them. And she's a wicked woman. I doubt if she's going to do that now because she's hooking up with them already, spirit to spirit, and it's evil. Do you live with your mother?
No, I don't.
Oh, good. You have your own place?
Yep.
Until she does what you tell her to do, your mother, don't visit her and don't let her visit you.
Okay, well, she's been coming by and dropping off food and soup and stuff like that for me recently. And
no, she's seducing you.
I've been using it as an opportunity to do this forgiveness stuff. And when I tell her these things that she did wrong, my mom is evil and has, some of those lies in her head. But she will be contrite and she will be like, yeah, I know that was wrong. I'm sorry and things like that. And she doesn't know all these things that she did wrong.
Yes, she does.
But
your mother knows everything that she did to you. She just won't admit it.
Yeah, you're right.
She playing you. That's why she bringing you food. When women want to control men, they get them food and sex.
Wow.
Because that's mama's love, right? You got to get rid of your mother. You got to stay away from her, Zach.
All right. I mean, I'm fine with that. I've been staying away from her for a long time, and trying to work through the forgiveness process. And I think
forgiveness is not a working through. When you see that it's wrong, yes, your mother is wicked and she's wrong, but when you see that it's wrong for you to resent her and go and forgive her, you're done with forgiveness. Now you will live a life of forgiveness. You will speak up. You want to accept the wrong as a right. You just won't have hatred in your heart about it. You will see injustice, but you won't hate it. It's no process. Either you see that you're wrong for hating or you don't see it. And once you see that you're wrong for hating, it doesn't make it right for what she did to you, but you're suffering because you are separated from God. So when you go and forgive, God will forgive you and bring you back into his world, right? And everything will start to work for you. But so it's no process. It's just that you're still listening to those thoughts and you think you have not forgiven because you still believe in the lies in your head.
That makes sense. Like most everything you say.
That's why
I will say, Jesse, just from listening to you, I feel myself being able to stand up for what's right without getting emotional. I feel myself being able to be more of who I want to be. I feel my worst habits starting to fall away. And
yes.
I really appreciate you.
The truth is making you free. And the reason you ended up in the same situation that your kids are in, the reason your kids are in the same situation you grew up in was because you resent your mother. And it's just you become attracted to what you hate. And you ended up with a woman that's just like your mother. And the same thing happened again. But now that you've forgiven your mother, do the silent prayer, speak up. That won't happen to you again. You're not attracted to wicked women like that. And as far as your kids, there's nothing you can do at this point but let go. Don't beg, don't follow her, don't beg her. You seek the kingdom of God because you did this whole thing wrong without realizing at the time what you were doing, right? And so it's enough to admit that I was wrong. I didn't see what I was getting into, what I was doing. And God will forgive you, and anything is possible. But as long as you are chasing her, she see that you love your children, and you're trying to give her money to get rid of her, she will destroy you and the children and take your money and go get with another man and destroy him.
Yeah, and
you got to let it go, Zach.
I've only sent her money a couple times, but every time I do, she goes on the trip.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that is just
she's using you and destroying your children.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now, do you think I should try to talk to her dad? Because I think that he will probably eventually be on my side. I mean, some of the things that he said to my mom are that.
Like what, for example?
So he told my mom that I should go meet my dad because he didn't know his dad, and then he also didn't know one of his sons that he had, and he said that, it will make me want to. So it's like he's under the impression that I'm a deadbeat dad, that I don't want to be with my kids, and so he said things that are like, basically saying, like, Zach needs to be in their life, like almost kind of lecturing me through my parents.
But see, that's why you need to keep your mother out of it. Because if this man is any good, he will come to you and ask you what's up, not go through your mother. You don't need your mother in the ways that man can't be trusted. And don't believe, because if your mother was any good, she would have said, well, it's not necessarily his father. I screwed him up. I kept him away from his father. I tried to hide him. I'm no good. Your mother was honest with the man.
Wow. So you think I should just focus on my business and building my life?
Yes.
What point should I try to, at what point should I go back on the offense to try to get my kids back? Because
don't try. You
she's
can't.
Gonna make my kids into victims.
She's already doing that. And your kids were born into a victim situation, right? And so I would just see for yourself, see you're wrong doing it, admit and know that you were wrong. I would seek the kingdom of God in his right way, and let it be added, whatever his will is, to let it be done. Because you've set yourself up where anything you do to get your children back from this woman is going to only make it worse.
Oh, okay. I got it. That was the part I was missing.
Yes. Anything you do, it's just going to get worse. So you need to just accept the fact that, hey, I did this whole thing wrong. This woman is taking my children. She's destroying them. There's nothing I can do at this point. And then let God's will be done, and amazing things will happen. But as long as you're chasing her, begging her, giving her money, you're feeding her ego, she only going to get worse. She's going to destroy your kids even if you live next door or in the next room. So you're not helping the situation at all by being weak in the situation.
And strength is to focus on me and what's right?
Yes. To know that you've done all you can do so you can see what's going on. Because this woman is, based on everything you've said, is playing a game. And she will destroy you and your kids anyway, no matter what you do. And your mother is playing the game with them, pretending like she's been helpful by bringing you back the words from the so-called father. And the father is playing a game, too, by going through the mother and not to you. You're being played, man, by evil people, and you can't see it clearly enough. And you'll fall right into your mother's... You're going to fall right into the trap, because this woman is coming telling you your mother telling you what some guy said, and you'll believe in her, and then you'll call this guy up, and he'll make you weaker about, you need to kiss up at her, and you need to do this and do that, right? But if that man, the grandfather, was any good, he would make his daughter do the right thing. He's not making his daughter do the right thing. Whether he believe her story or not, he's still beta, because if he was a real man, and if he cared about the situation, he would call you up and see what happened.
I mean, I think you're right. I agree that he's definitely beta. He didn't grow up with his parents. He was always
and he's speaking to
dad.
He's speaking to you through your mother. That's not a real man.
Right.
That's what weak fathers do in the home with their children. They deal with their children through the wife, and the wife ends up screwing them up.
So recently, I was talking to the mother of my kids, and she told me about how some of the things that her dad had recently said to her about not taking responsibility, how she's 31 and she doesn't have anything, and blah, 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 blah. And, she was venting to me, and I'm listening to it and hearing it, and everything he's saying, I agree with. I'm like, I wanted to tell her he's right.
But he's no good. He needs to come to you and tell you, too.
Okay.
Not your mother. You need to get your mother, tell your mother, stay out of your business, go somewhere and repent to God.
I will do that, Jesse. So you think that I should consider him as well as a lost cause until he's ready to reach out to me?
Until he call you up or reach out to you and say, Zach, I'm sorry this is happening to you. My daughter is no good. I'm trying to get her to do the right thing. Then I will listen. Until he does that, I wouldn't let it be a second party thing. He's weak. And plus, your mother is not being honest. I've seen this happen to so many fathers, man. It's not even funny.
Yeah, it's what really attracted me to some of the videos. I think my situation is extreme.
Hold on, Zach. We're opening D Live right now, folks. 8:30. Treasure Chest on D Live is open. All right, go ahead, Zach.
I forgot what I was going to say, Jesse. I think I know what I need to do now. I really, really do appreciate you. Something that I was thinking, I don't want to live in Poop City, right? But I would like to work for you. I'd like to join your team or whatever. And because I have a business already and it's kind of to a degree automated and systematized, I don't need any money. I want to amplify your message and, help other men, come back to Christ, come back to what's right, and focus on those things. So I don't know if you have some information you could send me or a way that I could contact you and show you some of the things I could do, because I am an online marketer. So, YouTube algorithms and stuff like that is my world.
Send that to producer send us what you can do to work with us to producer at JesseLeePeterson.com. I'll check it out and make sure we have a phone number and an email, whatever, we can contact you, all right?
All right, that sounds great. Thank you so much, Jesse.
So this is that. I'm telling you, tell your mother to stay out of your business, all right? She has no business going over there to see the kids when the father can't do it. That's evil. And your mother is not a holy woman, so she'll end up agreeing with them, and she will go against you. She will go while pretending that she cares, right? And then until that man call you up, her father, that girl's father, call you up and be a man, I wouldn't have anything to do with him, because he doesn't need to be talking to your mother. He should be talking to you. He's playing a game.
But I think he just thinks that I'm weak and avoiding responsibility. And I think
that's all right. If he was a real man and he cared about his grandchildren, he will still go to you. When someone have a problem with you, correct, they're supposed to go to you, not your mother, not your wife, not the dog, not the paint on the house, not the sister in the alley. Go to the person.
But if I have a problem, it doesn't mean that I should go to him. I sure don't want to talk to her mom.
But your problem is not with him. Your problem with her.
You're right. Okay.
And your mother and this guy and her mother are inserting themselves into it. They have no business be a part of it at all. And there's no way that they should be taking your children and keeping them there without contacting you to find out what happened and if you wanted your children or not. They have no love, man. They're no good.
Oh, sucks to hear, but I think you're right, Jesse.
And you need to relax and accept what is, and God will help you. Now, I'm giving you all that advice, but if you decide that, you know what, I want to call this man anyway, you'll absolutely do it, because you may have to go through it to see that I'm right. And then you may be right. So if you want to call him, it's up to you. I understand it.
Amazing. Oh, Jesse, I really do think that you're a light to the world. Your ability to stay balanced in the face of people getting angry with you, and the example that you are to men, I think is something that the planet desperately needs right now, and I really appreciate it.
And I appreciate that, Zach. And I'm blessed because I see men like you and women who, I'm thinking of Victoria. There's a woman go to my church, and she's not the only one. I'm saying her name, folks, because I know she started her own business. She's really, trying to do it the right way. That's why I'm speaking her name. But I think about her, how she has come such a long ways in a short time by admitting she's wrong, forgiving her parents, for dealing with her mother, and her life is just changing. So God loves us all, but he's not going to accept us the way we are. We must be born again, right? And so when I hear men like you and speaking up and dealing with life, there's nothing that's better than silver and gold, man. Because you're returning to the Father.
Right. And it's something, I feel like I desperately need. I've been channeling the spirit of women all my darn life.
Yes, absolutely. That's why God said we must be born again. And that is to overcome the spirit of the woman. And that's what happens when you deal with your mother, forgive her, and grow up, right? When you forgive her, you're overcoming the spirit of the woman, which is the spirit of Satan. And you love your earthly father, you forgive him, you love him. And that causes you to love the spirit of his father, which is God. And your life will start to change in amazing ways. I mean, right away, you just start to change. Have you gone and dealt with forgiving your father for his weakness?
I haven't done it face to face. I know that's the way to do it.
Why haven't you?
In my weak-minded way, the way that I've been thinking of it was that I didn't want to put him through that until I had my kids back, because I literally all I talk about is my kids, and how I was a completely different person when she left. And by taking responsibility for focusing on the things that only I can control, I've, basically redirected my whole life to, get my kids back. It's been the way that I've been trying to do it. Now I'm seeing that I need to not focus on getting my kids back, but focus on doing what's right.
Yes.
But I know that it's, excuses is the reason that I haven't forgiven him yet. And there was times where, I was 14 or something. My mom was going crazy. I was like, oh, I forgive him. I see why he left. I got another girl pregnant who was crazy, and I was terrified. I was like, oh, I forgive him again. And then this thing that happened with her, really, I feel like I've had 3 different periods of forgiving my father, really understanding some of what he may have gone through. Go to your father.
Hey, Zach, you're thinking.
Go ahead.
All those excuses you have about not going and face him and forgive him, that's the mindset of a woman. Women make up a bunch of excuses. Oh, you don't want to hurt his feelings, or you don't want to cause pain, or your father can't handle it, or that's the way women think. But God is renewing your mindset, so be patient with that. But you got to go and forgive your father. He can, whatever it is that you hold against him, or ask him, how was it? Have a conversation. But you got to forgive him so that your mind will be renewed from that of your mother to that of God. You will become yourself, and it's so amazing. But you got to forgive. You got to go and forgive. Don't deal with life in the way women deal with life.
Well, I think I might go do that today.
But that, as far as that other man, your children's grandfather, it's totally up to you. And if you call, I understand it, right? And if you, and at least you would know then what he said. But if you do call him, let him know you do not want him going through your mother to compensate with you. That he can call you or come to you if he has a question or want to talk to you. Be honest.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm pretty sure my mom is never going to do that. I think I made the breakthrough. And honestly, Jesse, a lot of it has to do with, my exposure to you. It's really helped me understand what's going on and be able to lay out those issues. And I've always had the ability to say things that affect people. And certainly my mom is one of those people that's receptive to that message. And she, certainly at points was a godless woman. But she's kind of gone through her own little thing. She's had an abortion, and now she's fighting for abortion right or anti-abortion, pro-life.
If she has repented for screwing your life up like this, then I will give her a little trust, right? But don't let her be bringing you food every day. That's seducing you.
Yeah, it's sure ain't every day. She is not allowed in my house every day. But, yeah, I understand that. When you said that about the food,
yes,
that women seduce you with food and sex, that's exactly right.
Zach, I wish you well, man. Do the silent prayer, stay with it, speak up but don't resent, but accept what has happened, because when we're in a fallen state, we can't see what we're getting into. But once we start to seek to understand, we got to admit we were wrong. And in that, it's amazing things what happened for you, all right?
All right. Well, I appreciate it. I feel things unfolding better for me now already.
Yes, sir. Keep in contact and make sure you send that information to my producer, and we'll get back to you.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Jesse.
All right. God bless you, buddy.
Yep. Back at you. Bless.
All right. Amazing.